a math teacher. I am going to explain 8th class mathematics 6th chapter 3rd exercise 6.3 up to 5th subset homework. Now 6th problem. See beta, find the least perfect square with 4 digits. With 4 digits. See, perfect squares means what beta? Tell me all of you. Perfect squares. Easily this answer. 1 square means 1, 2 square 4, 3 square 9, 4 square 16, 5 square 25, 6 square 36, 7 square 49, 8 square 64, 9 square 81, 10 square 100. Next beta, 11 square 121, 12 square 144, 13 square 169, 14 square 196, 15 square 225, like that only. 16 square 256, 17 square 289, 18 square, like that only you continue beta, like that only you continue. This is 3 digit perfect squares. They require 4 digits perfect square. Tell me 4 digits perfect square means what tell me. Till 4 digits perfect square. Tell me 4 digits perfect square means what? Up to 30 you take. Up to 30 you take. Yeah? 3 3 9. 2 zeros. Yes or no? 30 into 30 na. 3 3 9, 2 zeros. Next 31 square. 31 into 31. 32 square. 32 into 32. You multiply 31 into 31. 1 1 1 3 3 1 3 3 3 9 1 6 9. This is 961. Next 32 into 32. 2 2 4, 2 3 6. 0 6 3 3 9. 4 6 plus 6 12 1 carry. These only 4 digit least perfect square. 4 digit least perfect square. This is very easy. Otherwise, number 1 square, 2 square, 3 like so only you check. See, we require 4 digit perfect square. 4 digit perfect square means what? First of all, 4 digit least number what? First we have to check. First we have to check 4 digit. We have to check 4 digit least number. 4 digit least number is 1000 na? 1000. Least number. Then 4 digit. Then 4 digit least perfect square is dash. You only check like this only. 1 square, 2 square, and so on. 30 square is near 900, nearest to 1000 na. Next 31 square nearest to 1000 na. 32 square 1024. These only least 4 digit perfect square. Therefore 1024 is least perfect square. Okay beta, copy this out. Next 7th problem. Shall I write this board? 6th problem finished beta. Now 7th problem. Given number 6412. What is we have to find? Find the least number which must be added to it becomes perfect square. See beta, this number how much adding means it becomes perfect square. What is the least number? Means do division beta. 6412 do division method. Next from last to 2 digits keep or okay 64. Nearest perfect square what beta? 8 8 ja 64. 8 8 ja 64. 12 right here. 0, 0, 12. 8 means 8 add here. 8 taking means 8 and 8 plus 8, 16. See here 100 means here also 100. 161 1 ja 161. Now do here what there is 161 1 ja 161. This is the largest number now. Therefore 161 minus 12 how much you see? 11 minus 2. This is the largest number. That is why see here 1 minus 2 is not going to take on borrow. 11 minus 2 how much? 11 minus 2 9. 11 minus 2 9. Here 1 gave now 5 left. 5 minus 1 4. 1 only. Means what they asking? What they asking? How much this number it becomes a perfect square. Therefore, what now? See 8 8 is 64, 12 remainder. Here 8 plus 8 add 16. Here 1 1 161 1 is 161. This is the largest number, the smallest number now. Okay. Here larger minus, then you also keep here minus. Okay. 161 minus 12 114. Means how much add to this number? What they asking? What number add to this number? Then it becomes perfect square. See 149. We must add. We must add 149 to 6412. Then it becomes perfect square. Then it becomes perfect square. Okay, beta? Eighth problem very easy. See here, I am telling one problem. See what they given? Root 97. See, estimate the value of the following numbers. Nearest whole number. Nearest whole number you find, beta. See, first of all, 97 given, beta here. What is that 97? Is 97 is lies between 97 is lies between two perfect squares. What was the perfect square, beta? See, perfect squares 97 nearest number was, tell me. 9 9 ja 81, 10 10 ja 100. See, 97 is lies between the perfect squares. Between the perfect squares. Just wait, somewhat letters between the perfect squares. 97 is lies between the perfect squares are 64 and 100. Means what here? 97 is lies between like this. Means 64 and 100. These two perfect squares. Now apply the, now this one what right here? 64 means what right here? Now apply square root on both sides. Now apply square roots. Now apply square roots on both sides. Now apply square roots on both sides. See beta, square root of 64 and square root of 97 and square root of 100. See beta, square root of 64 means what? 8 8 is 64 na? H. Again 97, root 97. Next here 10 10 ja 100. See beta, see here root 97 is lies between 8 and 10. 8 and 10. Which is the nearest whole number beta? This is see beta 64. This is 10 100. This is very close to this 10 only. Because 97 and 100 just the nearest number. That is why root 97 is nearest whole number is 10 only. What we have to write here? See here. As what right here as 100 is more closer. 100 is more closer to more closer to 97 than 64. This 100 is more closer to 97 amma than 64. Though the approximate value value of square root of 97 is 10. This is only answer. Remaining two problems homework beta. See here, remaining two problems. See here, second and third problems are homework. 8th bit one I said, remaining two problems are homework. First bit very easy here. First one, find the cube sum. Find the cubes of following. Find the cubes of following. First one, see beta 8 layer. 8 cube. Cubes means what beta? 8 cube. 8 cube what coming? 8 into 8. 8 ja 64. 64 8 ja. How much 64 8 ja? Tell me for 64 8 ja. 512. 512. Next second problem. 16 cube. 16 into 16. You have to write 3 times. 16 write 3 times. 16 raising 3 times. You write 16 ja 256. 256 into 16. 4096. 4096. Remaining two problems are homework. You have to check, otherwise see here 16 ja 256 16 ja 16 6 ja 96 9 carry 16 5 ja 80 80 plus 89 8 carry 16 2 ja 32 plus 8 40 like this. This also check beta 8 ja 64 8 ja 8 4 32 plus 3 carry 8 6 ja 48 plus 3 51 like that. Okay na? Two problems I explained it. Two problems homework. These simplification used by pencil. Test whether the given numbers are perfect cubes or not. Test perfect cubes or not. Perfect cubes or not. See beta what given first one, see 243 perfect cubes or not. See beta the given 243 and second one see beta 516. Third one next time telling beta fifth time telling 2700. Remaining homework beta third and fourth homework. Third and fourth. Very easy this problem. Test perfect cubes or not. How to find the perfect cube means what? Perfect cube means a number repeating 2 times. Itself only. See here 243 what coming here? See here 243 do LCM beta 243 3 8 ja 24 3 1 ja. Next 3 2 ja 6 2 remainder 3 7 ja. Next 3 9 ja 3 3 ja. Means perfect cube is what? In the exponent 3 multiples only. See here in exponent see but 3 multiples means what? 3 multiples means here 3 1 2 3 4 5 3 4 5 is equal to 243. See in exponent 3 or 3 multiples. 3 multiples. In exponent, 3 or 3 multiples are perfect cubes. Are perfect cubes. Are perfect cubes. But 243 is 3 power 5. Therefore, 5 is not multiple of 3. Not multiple of 3. So, 243 is not a perfect cube. Not a perfect cube. See beta, perfect cube means what? In exponent 3 or 3 multiples. 3 multiples what beta? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 and so on. Here 5 there, it is not a perfect cube. Understood now? Like that only 516 you check beta. 516. We check here 6 na beta. Take 2 table. 2 2 is 4, 1 remainder 11. 2 5 is 10, 1 remainder 8. Again ones place is even number, take 2 table. 2 1 ja, 2 2 ja 4, 2 9 ja. Again take 3 table. 3 4 ja, 3 3 ja. Therefore, it is 43. It is not going any table like that only. Therefore, 2 times 2 square 3 into 43. Exponent is what beta? It is even number. Here 1 there 43. It is not a perfect cube because in exponent 3 or 3 multiples. It is not possible. Therefore, it is not a perfect cube. It is not a perfect cube. Next beta 2700. 2700 take 3 table, 3 9 ja and 0. 3 3 ja and 0. 300 ja. Again 10 10 ja 100. Now you check beta here 3 times 10 2 times. See beta, what's the whole number? The whole number exponent is 3 times 3 or 3 multiples. But here 2 there. It is not a perfect cube. It is not a perfect cube. See beta, this whole number, see here 1 is 3 there, other number is 2 there. It is not a multiple of 3. Therefore, the whole number exponent what by 1 is 3, 1 is 2. It is not a perfect cube. The whole number, see in that booking, see product of two numbers 3 and 10. This 3 exponent is 3, 10 exponent 2 there. But all numbers exponent 3 multiples only. One is 3 multiple, one is 3, other one is 2 there. It is not possible. Therefore, it is not a perfect cube. Therefore, homework is 3rd and 4th. Homework is 3rd and 4th. This is Pawan Sudha Kanchala. You have a nice day. I am thinking you understand. This only consider nothing will happen. See the given number, you write LCM factors right. Writing after that number, write raising how many times. The raising number, the exponent is 3 or 3 multiples only. Otherwise, it is not a perfect cube. Here you see what 516 product of 3 numbers here. 2, 3, 43. 2 raising number 2, 2 power 2. 2 is multiple of 3, not it is multiple of 2. Again 3 and 43 raising 1, 1. It is not a multiple of 3. Therefore, the 516 is not a perfect cube. Next 2700. You write a product of 3 cube into 10 square. Means in that the product of two numbers looking. One number power is 3, other number power is 2. Means this exponent is 3. But this exponent is 2. Means this 2 is not a multiple of 3. That is why it is not a perfect cube. Okay, beta. Thank you. Have a nice day. Okay. All of you find the homeworks and practice the problems. Thank you.
A very good morning, children. We are going to discuss the 4th chapter, metals and non-metals from 8th class physics. Children, in the previous classes, okay, we discussed about synthetic fibers and plastics. Okay, synthetic fibers and plastics. Okay, now in this chapter we are going to discuss about what is called a metal and what is called a non-metal. Okay, how we can test whether the given sample is a metal or a non-metal, and what are the properties of the metal and non-metal. Okay, in this chapter we are going to discuss about what is called metal and what is called a non-metal. Okay, and what are the physical properties of metal and what are the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, first before going to start this chapter, okay, we should learn first of all what is called a metal. Okay, what is called a metal and what is called a non-metal. Okay, what is called a metal and what is called a non-metal. Children, before going to discuss this topic, okay, then you say some metals. For example, gold. Yes, we know that gold is a metal. Next, silver. Okay, silver is a metal. Okay, I told you mercury. Okay, mercury is a chemical which is used in the thermometer. Okay, mercury is a metal. Okay, lead is a metal. Iron is a metal. Steel is a metal. Okay, next tin is a metal, etc. Okay, we have different types of metals. Okay, we are using different types of metals in our day-to-day life activities. Okay, so children, what metals we know generally in our day-to-day life? Gold, silver, mercury, lead, iron, steel, tin, etc. Okay, children, what is called non-metal? Say some non-metals names. For example, coal. Okay, coal is a non-metal. Wood. Okay, wood is a non-metal. Okay, coal is a non-metal. Wood is a non-metal. Okay, next air is a non-metal. Water is a non-metal, etc. Okay, children, what are the examples of non-metals? Coal, wood, air, water, etc. Then how we know which one is metal and which one is a non-metal? How we can recognize which one is metal and which one is non-metal? Okay, so to discuss this topic, first of all we have to know the properties of the metal. Okay, first of all we are going to discuss the properties of metals. Okay, first of all we are going to discuss what, Nana? The properties of metals. Properties of a metal. Okay, children, what are the properties of metal? What are the properties of metal? First one, physical properties. Okay, first one is what, Nana? Physical properties. First we are going to discuss about physical properties of the metal. Okay, first we are going to discuss about the physical properties of metal. Okay, so in our day-to-day life we are using so many metals and non-metals, but we don't know which one is metal and which one is non-metal. Okay, at this end of the chapter you know very well which one is metal and which one is a non-metal. Okay, so children, generally we know that we discussed in the previous classes. Okay, what, Nana? The metals are two types. Okay, the metals are what? Two types. Okay, some materials form rust. Some materials do not form rust. Okay, for example, you see iron gates, iron windows and iron doors. Okay, when they will expose to moisture, air and water, they form rust. Okay, they form rust. So from this topic what do you understand? Metals form a rust. Okay, from this topic what we understand, Nana? Metals form a rust. Okay, metals form a rust. Okay, I told you metals form a rust. For example, iron. But see the metal steel. Okay, steel is a metal. Then are using in the household articles. Okay, so all metals do not form a rust. Okay, all metals do not form a rust. Okay, so metals having different types of physical properties and different types of chemical properties. Okay, understand? Next, we are going to discuss about what is called a metal and what is called a non-metal. Okay, children, we know that. So these are the metals and these are the non-metals. Generally, we are using in our day-to-day life activities. Okay, Nana. So next one, children, once you observe, these are the metals. You know, these all materials are same in color. No. These all materials are same in shape? No. These all materials having same type of physical and chemical properties? No. Okay, now? So, the metals contain different types of physical and chemical properties. Okay, all the metals are not looking like same in structure. Okay, all the metals are do not shine. Okay, gold is a shining material. Okay, but compared to gold, lead is a somewhat less shining material. Okay, some materials possess more shining, some materials possess less shining, and some materials are very soft, some materials are very hard. Okay, some materials we can break easily, but some of the materials we cannot break easily. Okay, now, so depending upon these properties, we can classify metals and non-metals. Okay, some materials form a rust. Okay, some materials will be shine more. Okay, next, some materials are very soft in nature. Okay, some materials are break easily. Okay, some materials are break easily. Next, some materials are produce sound. Some materials are produce sound. Children, generally what we are observing now, some metals, okay, some materials do not form a rust, but some materials form a rust. Okay, some materials will shine, some materials are not shine. Some materials are soft, some materials are hard. Okay, some materials we can break easily, but some materials we cannot break easily. Okay, some materials produce sound and some materials do not produce sound. Okay, so depending upon these properties, we can classify the metals and non-metals. Okay, we can classify metals and non-metals. Okay, so first we are going to discuss metals. Okay, so these metals contain two types of properties. Okay, what is the first one? Physical property. What is the second one? Chemical properties. Okay, now we are going to discuss the first one is metals. Okay, we are going to discuss the first one is metals. Okay, first we are going to discuss the properties of a metal. What is the first one? Physical properties. Okay, now we are going to discuss physical properties of the metals. Okay, so children, before going to learn this topic, once you collect the materials from your surroundings. Okay, what are the materials you collect from your surroundings? That is iron, okay, copper, zinc, sulfur which is present in the powdery form. Okay, sulfur, aluminium. Okay, aluminium, carbon, magnesium, okay, magnesium, next iodine, okay, next one iodine, sulfur, etc. Okay, children, this is not a metal. What I am saying, before going to test the physical properties of the metal, okay, you collect this all type of materials from your surroundings. Okay, what are the materials? Iron, copper, zinc, sulfur powder, aluminium. Okay children, first you expose these all metals to sunlight. Okay, what happens here, from this some materials are, okay, from this some materials are shining. Okay, some materials are shining due to the presence of sunlight, but some materials are not shining due to the presence of sunlight. Okay, you collect these all materials from your surroundings, then expose these all materials to in the presence of sunlight. Okay, so from this what happens, Nana? Only few materials are shining. Okay, from this only few materials are shining in the presence of sunlight, but some materials are non-shining. Okay, some materials are non-shining when we are exposed to sunlight. Okay, which materials are shining? That materials are called lustrous materials. Okay, those materials are called what, Nana? Lustrous materials. Okay, which materials are non-shining? They are called non-lustrous material. Okay, non-lustrous materials. Okay children, for example I am telling to you iron. When you expose the iron to sunlight, it will be shine. Okay, it will be shine. So that's why it is a lustrous material. Okay, it is a what, Nana? Lustrous material. Okay, for example when we are exposing, okay, when we are exposing carbon, okay, when we are exposing carbon material to the sunlight, this carbon does not shine. Okay, this carbon material does not shine. That's why this carbon material is called as non-shining material. Okay, non-shining materials are called non-lustrous material. Okay, non-lustrous materials. Okay, so from this topic what we understand, which materials are shining in the presence of sunlight and which materials are reflect the sunlight, that materials are called lustrous materials. Okay, lustrous materials. Which materials are non-shining? The materials are called non-lustrous materials. Okay, collect all type of materials from your surroundings or from the laboratory, then expose to sunlight. Okay, which materials are shining in the presence of sunlight? They are called lustrous materials. Which materials are non-shining in the presence of sunlight? They are called non-shining or non-lustrous materials. Okay, this is about what? Appearance. Okay, this is about what, Nana? Appearance. Next, the second character. Next, the second character is, okay, sonority. What is the next second character? Sonority. Okay, so children, you fill the table 1. Okay, children, you fill the table 1. What is the table 1, Nana? Collect these all samples from your surroundings and you expose to sunlight. Okay, which material is shining? That is lustrous material. You write here lustrous material and you write the color. For example, iron. Iron is brown color, you know. Yes, you write here brown color. Okay, like that you write, Nana. You fill the table 1. Okay, you fill the table 1. Next, the second character is sonority. Okay, what is the next character, Nana? Sonority. Children, have you observed your school bell? Children, have you observed your school bell which is made up of iron? Okay, children, have you observed a bell in the temples which is made up of iron? Okay, why? Because the iron is a strong material, okay, which exhibit a lot of sound, okay, which exhibit a lot of sound. That's why in temples and in the schools, the people are fitting iron bells, okay, iron bells. Children, what I told you is all materials, okay, from starting, okay, you collect these all materials. Now, what is the activity 2? You beat, okay, so you drop this all the materials on the hard floor, okay, one by one you drop this all materials in the sound. Okay, for example, you fell down sulfur powder on the floor. It does not exhibit sound. Okay, it does not exhibit sound. So you do this activity also. Okay, you collect all the materials and then you fell down one by one material on the hard floor. Okay, then you observe which material produce sound, which material do not produce sound. Okay, so children, which materials produce sound? Okay, that materials are called sonorous materials. Okay, which materials produce sound? They are called sonorous material. And which materials do not produce sound? They are non-sonorous materials. Okay, Lauster and sonorous material. Okay, children, what is the activity 2? You collect different types of samples, different types of material from your surroundings, and one by one you drop the materials on the hard floor. Then you observe the sound. Okay, some materials produce sound, some materials do not produce sound. Okay, which materials produce sound? Which materials produce sound? Okay, the materials are called sonority materials. Okay, the materials are called sonorous. Okay, sonorous materials. And which materials do not produce sound? Okay, which materials do not produce sound? The materials are called non-sonorous materials. Okay, they are called what? Non-sonorous materials. Okay, children, how to understand which materials are producing sound? That materials are called sonorous materials. Which materials do not produce sound? They are called non-sonorous materials. Okay, so like table 1, you fill the table 2. Okay, drop one by one material on the hard floor. Then you write which material produce sound here and which material do not produce sound here. Okay, so children, to now we discuss 2 properties. Okay, which materials are shining? They are called lustrous material. Which materials are non-shining? They are called non-lustrous material. Okay, and which materials produce sound? They are called sonorous materials. And which materials do not produce sound? They are called non-sonorous materials. Okay, so if we understand this topic, we must discuss about the story of early tools. Okay, the story of early tools. Okay, so in the previous days, the people are using, in the previous days, the people are using stone. Okay, in the previous days, the people are using stone to check the sound from the metals. For example, they are collecting stone and they are beating on the iron nail. Okay, then what happens? Yes, iron nail produce a sound. That's why that is called sonorous material. And they collected coal and they are beating coal with the help of stone or hammer. Okay, so if they will produce sound, that is sonorous. But coal do not produce sound. That's why coal is a non-sonorous material. Okay, what is the example of sonorous material? Iron nail. Okay, children, iron nail is an example of sonorous material. And coal, okay, coal, piece of chalk, coal, piece of chalk are the examples of non-sonorous material because they do not produce sound. Okay, so in the previous days also the people are collecting different types of the materials and they are beating with stone or hammer. Okay, so what happens when they are beating? When they are beating some materials with a hammer or stone, some materials are producing fire. Okay, some materials are producing fire and some materials are do not producing fire. Okay, which materials are producing fire? That materials they are converted into different shapes. Okay, that materials they are converted into different shapes. Okay, this shape of the materials are used in the preparation of different articles. Okay, different articles. Okay, this is about what, Nana? Story of early works. In the previous days, what happens, Nana? The people are beating these iron nails. Okay, so first case, the people are beating iron nails with hand. It produce sound? No, it do not produce sound. In the second case, the people are beating iron nail with stone. Yes, it produce sound. In the third and fourth case, the people are in the third case, what happened, Nana? The people are tied hammer with a cloth. Okay, then he beating iron nail. It produce sound? No. In the fourth case, what happened? The people are beating iron nail with the hammer. Okay, which is made up of iron, you know. So both they will beat means it will produce more sound. Okay, so if the people are beating two metals, okay, if the people are beating two materials, at that time some materials are produced heat energy and some materials are produce fire. Okay, which materials are produce heat energy or fire? That materials we can convert it into different types of shapes. Okay, so this technology is used in the preparation of different types of household articles at our home. For example, iron window, iron chair, iron bench, okay, and iron door, iron gate, etc. Okay, now, so if we are beating two materials, some materials are produce heat energy or fire. Okay, this character we can use to mold into different types of shape. Okay, if we can mold such materials into different types of shapes, then we can convert such a type of materials into different types of articles. These articles we can use in the offices and in the colleges and in the school level also. Okay, so these are the two properties we discussed in this class. Okay, so in the next class we are going to discuss the character malleability. Okay, children, today what we discussed about metals and non-metals. Okay, what are the example of metals? Gold, silver, mercury, lead, iron, steel, tin, etc. Then generally what are called non-metals? Coal, wood, air, water, etc. So from these two, what we understand now? Some metals form a rust, but some metals do not form a rust. Some metals will shine, some do not shine. Some metals are soft, some metals are hot. Some metals break easily, but some metals do not break easily. Some metals produce sound and some of them not produce sound. Okay, depending upon these characters, we can classify some materials as a metal, some materials as a non-metal. Okay, first we are going to discuss about the properties of a metal. Okay, so from these all type of examples, how we identify which one is metal and which one is non-metal? By seeing these characters. Okay, children, what is the activity one? Collect these all materials from your surroundings. Then you expose one by one material in the presence of sunlight. Okay, which material will be shine? That is called lustrous material. Which non-shining? They are called non-lustrous material. Okay, so you fell down that all materials one by one on the hard floor, and then you observe the sound from the materials. Some materials produce sound. They are called sonorous materials. Some materials do not produce sound. They are called non-sonorous materials. Okay, example what? Sonorous, iron nail, steel, etc. Do not produce sound means non-sonorous, you know. Okay, what are the examples of this? Coal, piece of chalk, etc. Okay, so today we discussed two characters. One is luster, second one is the sonorous of different types of materials. Okay, in the next class we are going to continue this topic. Okay, now I am closing this topic. Homework. What is the homework, Nana? Collect different types of materials. Okay, what is your homework? Collect different types of materials. Collect different types of materials. Okay, and fill the table 1 and and table 2 in your textbook. Okay, so collect different types of materials from your surroundings and fill the table 1 and 2 in your textbook. Okay, this is today's homework. Hope you understand this video. Thank you. Very good morning, children. We are going to discuss the 4th chapter, reproduction in animals, from 8th class biology. Children, in previous classes we also discussed about what is called reproduction and what are the types of reproduction. Okay, and we discussed about fertilization process. Children, what is called fertilization? We know that what is the male reproductive organ? Testis. The male reproductive organ is testis and the female reproductive organ is ovary. Okay, so the testes produce number of sperms. The testes produce number of sperms from male body and the ovary produce ovum. The ovum is also called as egg. Okay, ovum is also called as egg. So here what happens, Nana? The sperms and ovum. The sperms and ovum combines together to form a zygote. Okay. Then the zygote develops into embryo. The embryo develops into fetus. And the fetus develops into new baby. Okay. The fetus develops into new baby. So here what happens, Nana? The sperms are combined together to ovum and to form a zygote. Okay, so the zygote develops into embryo develops into fetus and the fetus develops into new baby. Okay, so this process is called fertilization. Already we discussed in the previous classes. Okay, children, what are the types of fertilization process? What are the types of fertilization process? The first one is internal fertilization. Okay, what is the first one, Nana? Internal fertilization. Okay, internal fertilization. Children, what is called internal fertilization? If the fertilization process which takes place inside of the female body. Okay, if the fertilization process which takes place inside of the female body is called internal fertilization. Okay, which takes place inside of the female body. Okay, inside of the female body. For example, what, Nana? Higher animals and human beings. Okay, higher animals and human beings. Okay, and what is the second one, Nana? External fertilization. Okay, what is the second one? External fertilization. What is called external fertilization? If the fertilization process which takes place outside of the female body. Okay, if the fertilization process which takes place outside of the female body. Okay, outside of the female body is called external fertilization. Example, what, Nana? Frogs. Okay, example, what, Nana? Frogs. Children, in previous class we discussed about the internal fertilization, how it takes place in the male side of females. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the external fertilization, how it takes place in the frogs. Then next, activity 3. What is your activity 3, Nana? Make a students 4 or 5 members like a group in your class. Okay, and observe the internal organs structure of your friends. Okay, so for example, you will do this activity? First, serial number. Next, name of your friend. Name of your friend. And the character which is similar to mother. And the character which is similar to father. And the character which is similar to any other. Any others. Okay. So children, what is the activity 3? Making students 4 or 5 groups in your class and observe your friend organs which are similar to mother or father or any others. Any others means what, Nana? Aunt, uncle and close relatives and like that. Okay, now first serial number 1. Okay, name of your friend. For example, Aravind. Okay, Aravind. So next you write organs. Okay, now you write what, Nana? Organs. You write here organs. So what are the organs? For example, eyes, nose, ears, okay, lips and hairs, like that, etc. Okay, and compare your friend organs which are similar to mother, father or any others. For example, Aravind, your friend, the eyes are very closer to the mother character but not father and any others. For example, nose which is similar to father, not like mother and not like any other. Next, ears. Okay, ears are similar to mother, not father and not any other. Okay, lips also similar to mother, not like father, not like any other. Okay, hairs are not similar to mother, father but any other. Any other means what, Nana? Aunt. Okay, aunt or uncle. Okay, like this. So children, you make a group and observe the organs, character of your friend. Okay, so those who are similar to mother character and which organ is similar to father character and which organ is similar to any other characters. Okay, now fill the column in the textbook. Okay, fill the column in the textbook. This is about what, Nana? Activity 3. So from activity 3, what you will observe, Nana? So for example, okay, our eyes or nose or any other body part which is similar to our mother or father or any other. Okay, why? Because we are created from our parents. Okay, we are created from our parents and we are getting very similar characters from mother, father or any other close relatives. Okay, this is about what, Nana? Activity 3. Okay, this is about activity 3. Next our topic is test tube baby. Okay, next our topic is test tube baby. Okay. Our next topic is what, Nana? Do you know about test tube babies? Do you know, children, about test tube babies? Who are called test tube babies? Children, do you know? In some women, the oviducts are blocked. Okay, in some women, what happened, Nana? Oviducts. Oviducts are nothing but what, Nana? Fallopian tube. Fallopian. Okay, fallopian tube. Okay, in some women, the fallopian tubes are blocked due to some various problems. Okay, so these women are unable to bear the babies. Okay, these women are unable to bear the babies. So in this case, the doctors are collecting fresh sperms from males and fresh eggs from females. Okay, fresh sperms from males and fresh eggs from females, and outside, okay, means in the laboratory there combines the fresh sperm cell with the fresh egg. Okay, children, already we know that if the sperm cell reacts with egg to form a zygote. To form what, Nana? Zygote. Okay, this process is called what, Nana? Fertilization. Okay, this process is called fertilization. So here what happens, this fertilization process which is takes place outside of the female body, means in the laboratory. So that's why this type of fertilization process is called as external fertilization. Okay, Nana, this is about what, Nana? External. Okay, this is about external fertilization. Okay, external fertilization. Children, what happens here? The doctors are collecting freshly released sperm and freshly released egg from male and female, and they are combining this sperm cell with egg cell in the laboratory. Okay, now, so here what happens, the sperm and the egg fusion together to form a zygote. Okay, so this zygote is developing in the test tube. After formation or after developing this zygote from 1 week, after developing the zygote in 1 week, okay, what happens, Nana? The doctors are keeping this, Nana, the doctors are collecting freshly sperm and they combines to fresh egg. Okay, so this is this sperm and egg combines together to form a zygote. The doctors are keeping this developing zygote into the female uterus. Okay, the doctors are keeping this developing zygote into the female uterus. Okay, so what happens? The zygote is developing in the female uterus to form embryo. This embryo is developed into fetus. This embryo is developed into fetus, and fetus developed into new baby. Okay, fetus developed into new baby. Like this, what happens, Nana? The doctors are doing this process. This process is called what, Nana? IVF. Okay. IVF means what, Nana? In vitro fertilization. Okay, in vitro fertilization process. Okay, so actually this term is misleading. The babies are not growing in the test tube, Nana. Just the doctors are collecting sperms and eggs from problematic people, and they are combining in the laboratory. From this, new zygote formation takes place. Okay, this process is called a test tube baby process. Otherwise, it is called IVF, means in vitro fertilization process. Okay, this is about test tube baby concept. Our next topic is about life cycle of the frog. Children, very important activity, Nana. To know about life cycle of the frog, we must do this project work. Okay, what is the aim of the project? What is the aim of the project? To know about the life cycle of the frog. Okay, to know about the life cycle of the frog. Okay, next, second one, materials required. Second one is what? Materials required. Children, what are the materials we required to do this lab activity? First one, wide mounted transparent glass tub. Okay, the second one, transparent glass bottle. Okay, the third one, petri dish. The third one is petri dish. Fourth one, dropper. Fifth one, some pebbles. Okay, next, sixth one, weeds or algae. algae. So these are the materials required. We do this lab activity. Okay, so we are knowing about the life cycle of the frog. Okay, next one, procedure. Next one, what Nana? Procedure. Very important, children. So this procedure contains step by step, Nana. Actually, so how we will do this lab activity? Children, you go to a pond or flowing water. You collect the eggs. You collect the eggs from the flowing water into a glass tub. Okay, na? So first step one. First step one. So what is the step one, Nana? You go to pond or water flowing area and you collect the eggs from the pond or water flowing area. What are the eggs? Frog eggs. Okay. You collect the frog eggs from water flowing area into the wide mouthed transparent glass tub. Okay, na? Next step 2. Step 2. Children, you keep weeds and algae. Okay, children, keep weeds and algae into the glass tub containing eggs. Okay, na? Next, step 3. Children, you observe in the eggs the blackish portion which is present in the center of the egg. That is called embryo. Okay, children, you observe the blackish portion which is present in the center of the frog egg. That is called what, Nana? Embryo. Okay, next step 4. Children, daily you have to observe the water in the tub and observe the changes which is present in the life cycle of the frog. Okay, you do this activity from first day to 48 days. Okay, you do this activity up to 48 days. Children, daily you have to observe the tub. Okay, what are the changes are occurring in the life cycle of the frog once you observe, Nana. Okay, so in the step 4, what happens, Nana? We will observe the hind limbs, forelimbs, intestine, rectum, heart. So these are the body parts which is coming from the frog. Okay, na? Which is coming from the frog. So what is the step 4, Nana? Observe the internal organs. Okay, observe the internal organs. Okay. Next, step 5. Next, what, Nana? Step 5. So in the step 5, you observe, Nana, when heart is came, okay, when the intestine, rectum which is appearing from the frog, you note down the dates. Okay, na? Next, in the step 5, children, once you observe when the embryo which is growing, which is converted into fish-like structure. Okay, when the embryo which is growing, which is converted into fish-like structure. Okay, this fish-like structure which is called what, Nana? Tadpole. Okay, the fish-like structure which is present in the water, that is called tadpole. Okay, this tadpole takes the breath with the help of gills. Very important. Okay, the tadpole which takes the respiration with the help of gills. Okay, next to step 6. Step 6. Okay, na? So what is the step 6, Nana? You take a beaker. Okay, what is the step 6, Nana? You take a beaker and fill with half of water. Okay, fill with half of water and you add some tadpoles. Okay, you add some tadpoles in the beaker of the water and you take a dropper. You take a dropper. With the help of dropper, you take out this tadpole and keep it in the petri dish. Okay, you keep it in the petri dish. So we will observe the tadpole structure in the petri dish very clearly by using magnifying lens. Okay, children, if you want to see the tadpole structure, then take a tadpole with the help of dropper and keep it in the petri dish. Okay, by using magnifying lens, we can observe easily the structure of the tadpole. Okay, children. So what happens, Nana? This tadpole structure, when it is developing, it is converted into baby frog. Okay, in the tadpole structure, when which is developing, it is converted into baby frog, and the baby frog is converted into adult frog. Okay, the baby frog is converted into adult frog. This adult frog which takes the respiration with the help of lungs. Okay, This adult frog which takes the respiration with the help of the lungs. Okay. So children, what you understood Nana here? First, the eggs, the frog eggs which are converted into zygote. Okay, the frog eggs which are converted into zygote. The zygote is converted into embryo, and the embryo is converted into tadpole. The tadpole is converted into baby frog. The tadpole is converted into baby frog, and the baby frog is converted into adult frog. Okay, then adult frog laying eggs. So this process is continuous. Here what happens Nana? The eggs are converted into zygote. The zygote is developed into embryo. Embryo is developed into tadpole. Tadpole is developed into baby frog, and the baby frog is finally developed into adult frog. Okay children, we know that the tadpole is taking respiration with the help of gills. Adult frog is taking respiration with the help of lungs. Okay, so here what happens? The zygote is converted into tadpole. Tadpole is converted into adult frog. Okay, so here we can observe the changes in the life cycle of the frog. These changes are called as metamorphosis. Okay, these changes are called as what Nana? Metamorphosis. Okay, metamorphosis. Very important one mark question. What is called metamorphosis? The eggs are converted into zygote. Zygote develops into embryo. Embryo develops into tadpole. Tadpole develops into baby frog. Baby frog is developed into adult frog. Okay. So the developing stages which is present in the life cycle of the frog is called as metamorphosis. Okay, this is about what Nana? Life cycle of the frog. Children, simply how you will do Nana? Just you collect the eggs from pond water and keep the weeds and algae in the eggs. Okay, after 1 week you observe Nana, the blackish part which is present in the eggs, that is called embryo. Okay, embryo develops into tadpole, which is a fish-like structure which takes the respiration with the help of gills. Okay, tadpole is converted into baby frog. Baby frog is converted into adult frog. Okay, then finally what happens Nana? You take some water, keep some pebbles on the water. Okay, so on the water what happened? The baby frog which is present, which is living on the pebbles, means when it is living on the pebbles means it takes the respiration with the help of lungs. Okay, so like this what happens Nana? The life cycle of the frog which is takes place. Okay, next children, do you know what are called bisexual animals? Very important Nana. So about bisexual animals. About bisexual animals. Children, do you know some animals carry only female reproductive organs inside of the body, but some animals carry only male reproductive organs inside of the body. Okay, it is naturally. Then in some animals what happens Nana? Both male and female reproductive parts which are present only in the one organism. Are you understand? Both male and female reproductive parts which are present in only one organism. Okay, that organisms are called bisexual animals. Okay, what are called bisexual animals? Which animals contain both male and female reproductive organs inside of the body. Okay, that animals are called what Nana? Bisexual animals. Okay, bisexual animals. For example, earthworms. Okay, for example, what Nana? Earthworms. Okay, so these bisexual animals are also called as hermaphoro. Okay, hermaphrodites. Hermaphrodites. Okay, very important one mark question. Children, what are called bisexual animals? Some animals carry both male and female reproductive organs inside of the body. That animals are called as bisexual animals, and these animals are also called as hermaphrodites. Okay, for example, what Nana? Earthworms. Okay, for example, earthworms. Children, once you comes to human beings, okay, male contain male reproductive organs, female contain female reproductive organs. Means male reproductive organs are present in other organism, female reproductive organ is present in other organisms. So that's why we are called as unisexual animals. Okay, unisexual animals. This is about what Nana? Life cycle of the frog, and about bisexual and hermaphrodites. Okay. Children, in this class what we discussed Nana? About the life cycle of the frog and about bisexual animals. Okay, this is about this our class. Okay. Children, please observe this diagram Nana. Already I explained in the class the life cycle of the frog. Please children, once you observe the diagram, first what happens Nana? See the adult frog. The adult frog is laying eggs. Okay, the eggs are converted into zygote, and the zygote is converted into embryo. The embryo develops into tadpole. Children, do you see? Tadpole is a fish-like structure. Okay, and this fish-like structure which is converted into baby frog. Baby frog is converted into adult frog. Okay, this is about what Nana? Life cycle of the frog. Means what happens here? The the adult frog is laying eggs. The eggs are converted into zygote. Okay, zygote is converted into embryo. Embryo is converted into tadpole. Tadpole is converted into baby frog. Baby frog is converted into adult frog. Okay, so this tadpole is a fish-like structure which takes the respiration through the gills. When it is converted into adult frog, the gills disappear, and the big frog which is taking respiration with the help of lungs. Okay, this is about the picture of life cycle of the frog. Okay, children, do you know this fish-like structure which is present on the hand? It is called what Nana? Tadpole. Okay, tadpole takes respiration with the help of gills when it is present in the water. Children, how the reproduction processes takes place in the frog? Children, once you observe here, the male and female frog both are copulation with each other. Okay, then what happened? The female frog which release eggs and sperms. Okay, the eggs and sperms which are present in the stagnant water. Okay, and how you will collect the eggs? You take a wide mouthed transparent glass tub, collect the eggs. Okay, collect the eggs from the water into the tub, and keep some weed plants and algae into the tub. Children, please observe this eggs. The blackish portion which is present inside of the egg, that is called what Nana? Embryo. Okay, that is called embryo. So the embryo is developed into what Nana? Tadpole. Okay, na? The embryo is developed into tadpole. Children, if you want to see the tadpole structure, you let us do one activity Nana. You take a beaker and take the water from previous activity, means from the tub. Okay, now what happens here? The embryo is developed into tadpole. Okay, if you want to see the tadpole, and you take a dropper, fill with water, take tadpole into the dropper and keep it on the petri dish. Okay, so with the help of magnifying lens, you observe the tadpole structure. Okay, what you will observe in the tadpole structure Nana? Please see the table. While doing this activity, you must to take care about yourself Nana. Take care your parents' permission and do this activity very neatly, and you need patience and very carefulness while doing this activity. Okay, so in this activity what happens Nana? After 7 days we will observe the heart. After 10 days we will observe the intestine. After 15 days we will observe the bones. After 4 weeks we observe the rectum. After 8 weeks we observe the hind limbs. After 9 weeks we observe the forelimbs. Okay, this process takes place overall 48 days. Okay, first day we are collecting eggs and 48th day we are collecting the adult frag from this activity. Okay, so when you will observe the tadpole is converted into baby frag. Okay, you take this tub nana, fill with water, keep some pebbles in the water, and what happened, the baby frog which is settled on the pebbles, means the gills disappear from this baby frog and lungs will appear. So this baby frog which is taking respiration with the help of lungs. Okay, with the help of lungs. So this is about what, Nana? Your entire activity. Okay children, do you know earthworms carry both male and female reproductive parts in them? That's why they are called bisexual animals or hermaphrodite. Very important. Children, what is your homework? Read about the life cycle of the frog and do this project at your home very carefully and observe the changes from eggs to adult to frog which is involved in the life cycle of the frog. Okay, this is your homework. Hope you understand this video. Thank you.